Last shot that Dorin-Ballard threw on lane 26, I really thought was going to go high, but the ball she is using stops a little bit early into the pocket. Take a look at some of Carolyn Dorin-Ballard's keys to victory. She had a little trouble with her right shoulder, but that's not bothering her too much anymore. Maintaining a good solid. Oh,
darn it, Carolyn.
Boy.
It's awful.
There is Carolyn's daughter and her husband, Dell, who also works for Brunswick. Carolyn will just go for one pin here, Marshall. Just a bad break.
Well, watch the 5-pin. It doesn't get over into the 7-pin and let flat 10 stand. So we saw a lot of that in practice. And right now this game is going to be O'Keefe with just a small advantage.
We have two diametrically different styles here, Marshall, as you picked out, with Ballard going straight and down and in. We saw it in the quarterfinals that the player who could go the straightest ended up with probably the best results. And O'Keefe, although, you know, put that thought aside if she's throwing the big hook, and if she can keep it in the pocket, it's hard to out-carry her. So with just a 3-pin differential through 4 frames, the match is anybody's.
Solid 8. You just can't make a better shot than that, Bo.
Well, 2 bad frames in a row, really bad breaks. You'll see the 2-pin is the one is the culprit. It actually, people think it's the, it actually knocks the 5-pin off, Marshall, and it goes right by the 8-pin. That's just almost a little too much power, but obviously an easy spare, but in a one-game match, it's very disappointing. This week's matchup on Monday Night Football features Eli Manning, Plaxico Burress, and the New York Giants facing Warwick Dunn and the Atlanta Falcons. Monday Night Football on ESPN begins at 8:30 p.m. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with Monday Night Countdown.
Now O'Keefe up on the right lane.
Strike here. She has a 13-pin lead, Marsh.
Left off her hand with 6 pins wobbling. Doesn't fall. And she knows she just made a poor shot there. Maybe a little bit anxious to get that 3rd strike. Right here the ball looks pretty good, but it's going to drive really hard. Fortunate, breaks everything down, almost gets the squasher hit and knocks down the 6-pin. Simple spare, no problem.
Marshall, you know, we watch these ladies bowl as her husband looks on, Shannon O'Keefe's husband, who is quite a bowler himself, bowled for the Nebraska team, the national champions in the 90s, coached by Bill Straub, a good friend of ours. But going back to the Paralanes, is that we watched in the quarterfinals that they weren't hooking quite this much. And today it's a little different, yet they say it's supposed to be the same lane condition. What causes that?
Well, you know, the machine hasn't been used in a long time for this pattern. So you'll see O'Keefe come in light, high on the right lane, live on the left lane. It's been a while since they bowled the quarterfinals. Not as many people bowled this tournament, so that changes things. We can see just coming in light. This is a difficult spare because of that 8-pin sleeper. Needs to cover both pins with the ball. And that shows her power. Just barely gets that one.
All right, the match is all even through 5.5 frames. We'll be back with the finals of the final 5 frames of the first match right after this.
Welcome back to the U.S. Women's Open Bowling Championships. Halfway through the first semifinal, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, of course, we've seen her. Well, she's got a younger sister named Kathy Dorin-Lizzie. Kathy, you have watched your older sister bowl for, what, 30 years? Yes, and so with that open frame there, how do you think she reacted?
Well, she reacted the way I knew she would. She came back through a great shot. Unfortunately, she got the bad break. But Carolyn has always been an offensive bowler. She doesn't concern herself with her opponent or the score until it's absolutely necessary, and she'll bounce back like she always does. She sticks to her game plan.
And Kathy, you are also very involved in bowling, are you not?
I'm one of the representatives of our USBC Ambassador Program. Awesome program where the pros go out and meet the people all over the country through exhibitions, lessons, speaking engagements, and clinics. Anybody that wants to meet the pros and learn about bowling, get on bowl.com and come see us.
All right, well, thank you very much. And now we'll go back to the booth.
Thank you, Christine. And Kathy, quite a bowler herself, as her sister is up on the right-hand lane. This is her 6th frame. The match is all even through 6 frames.
You can see the consistency of Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. We're using our CAT system. That's a computer-aided tracking system. And boy, the position on the lane, very close. The speed, almost identical.
Grabbed it. God darn it.
She said she grabbed it, Marshall. What's that mean, bud?
Well, at the bottom of the swing, she's trying to let the ball roll smoothly off her hand. That one, she sort of got a little extra wrist in, a little extra fingers. Ball rotated more. And these balls are so dynamic, they really adhere to the dry lanes.
And with us in the announce booth, joining Marshall Holman and myself, is one of the great young players in the world, 2-time Women's Masters champion, Deandra Asbady. Welcome, Deandra.
Hello, thank you, and thanks for having me. It's an honor to be between 2 legends here.
What do you think of the match so far, dear?
Well, it's close, and it could go either way right now.
Ballard needs to just forget about that last shot. In fact, after she left it, she said, that's okay. We'll just continue from here. Very positive mental attitude.
Right in between.
Yeah, half 10. Last time she solidates on lane 25. This time leaves a soft 10. The pin just doesn't quite get out of the flat gutter to knock it out. She'll go with her spare ball. Finds herself 14 pins behind at this point. The score is a little bit lower than we anticipated, Bo.
I agree. Well, Deandra, one of your good friends, Shannon O'Keefe, is kind of in the driver's seat right now, up 14 pins as she comes up in the 7th frame. But, the match is wide open. What do you expect out of Shannon here right at the end?
Shannon is, I don't know if you can get a stronger athlete. She is an unbelievable player, and she's tiny, but the energy that she translates to that ball from her body is fierce.
Yeah, she does have a lot of acceleration at the release point. Watch this.
Well, she really got a lot on that ball, and that ball's going high as well, leaving the 3 and the 6.
It's interesting to me to see the way that their balls are rolling. Carolyn's using a ball that's even and burning up a little bit sooner, and Shannon's using a ball that's storing more energy and popping at the back and storing a little bit too much energy on that shot.
And it's really hard to change with just 1 or 2 frames left in the match so close.
Important spare. All right, she covers it. We'll take a look at Deandra's stats from our computer-aided tracking system.
Or Shannon's stats.
Excuse me. That's right, Shannon's stats. Thank you, Deandra. I've got Deandra on my mind right now. Her speed, very, very close. A little bit different with the position on the lane. Not quite as consistent as Dorin-Ballard.
Okay, 8th frame. She leads by 12. Wow.
She was pleading for that ball to stop hooking. It sat like she asked for it.
I asked Shannon how she prepared within these couple months that she had, and she said she had not put out the cheetah pattern at all to practice on. She didn't want any preconceived notions, whereas Carolyn had lots of bowling centers around Dallas put out the condition for her.
Well, it's good. 2 good schools of thought. I kind of go with Shannon. You got to adjust to what's happening there today. Now, up in the key 8th frame, trailing by 12, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard.
Boy, she really liked that ball off her hand.
Shot. That's all you can do.
Deandra looks like she moved a little bit farther left on the lane to cut down the hook and didn't really get a good break.
Yeah, I think she's making the right ball choices. That right lane seems to be pretty tricky.
You can see the ball coming in light. She liked it. You could hear her husband, Dorin-Ballard. He's talking about the ball starting to burn up. It's cooking a little too soon, not having enough stored power at the back.
All right. Shot. Back on it.
Del, you were mentioning that ball's burning up a little bit, not storing enough energy to the back end. Does she need to be making a ball change now?